On days like today, I try to be extra cautious and always put on sunscreen. Today I'm going out for a production shoot, but I think it's always important to wear sunscreen, and I don't think that people wear it enough. But you can't get any more pale than me, so as long as you know that, you should put on sunscreen because it's gonna save you in the long run. Hope you're doing well. Really excited for today. So I have a production shoot in the AM, and I think it's important that I kind of let you know when I do bring you along to these different projects, how I got these jobs in the first place, because I think it's actually super helpful to know, where do these leads come from, and how can I possibly, get more opportunities like this. So this job actually came about because I was reached out to by a former supervisor who I worked with actually on my very first internship ever, through the county that I went to school. And basically they said, hey, they actually slashed some of their video funding for the department, the internal department they had, so now they need to outsource it. And so they knew that I did good work. They knew me from back when I was in high school, and so they reached out, which is honestly, it's pretty cool. So glad to be going back to help them out on this project. So yeah, let's get to it. I mean, that's just one of the referrals that I've gotten. It's just good to, keep your name out there and stay in touch with people that you never know. You never know who's gonna reach out to you. Hey, it's amazing. All right, just finishing up a shoot right now. It's incredible how much more efficient of a shooter I am than I used to be. I mean, what used to take me, hours and hours to get the right shots, I'm doing now in like, a fifth of the time, something like that. And it's kind of ridiculous. They don't really teach you that, but you definitely figure out what shots are gonna work and which ones are just gonna end up in the trash anyway. So, all right, let's get back. Because now I'm unresponsive. Still getting used to this haircut. It's not exactly what I intended. Okay, let's brighten this up. It's kind of like it's like a fade. Never done that before, but I was going for like straight across. Didn't realize that she said fade. So I guess that's what a fade looks like. So, I mentioned this yesterday that I was going to make sort of an announcement. So pretty much going along with everything that I've said so far, I'm trying to really capitalize on the opportunity that I have within social media to continue creating attention for my brand and creating attention for Lastard Media. And the reason that I think that's important, and I think that a lot of people should do this, and it honestly, I'm very stubborn. It took me a long time to figure this out, is because it doesn't really, to an extent, it doesn't matter what you put out, but it matters that you're putting out a lot of material. And I think that there is a certain quality that is acceptable, but I don't think that level of quality of what the content has to be is as high as a lot of people make it out to be. Like, I personally was posting less because I was so worried about the quality of what I was putting out. Because, when I'm posting these vlogs, obviously I don't have the time on these vlogs that I would with, my day-to-day work, with the client work, with, what I'm paid to do, because, that is the bulk of my time. And this is just capturing that. If this overtakes that and becomes, so much of a job, there has to be the right incentive to do it. So I think it's important to simplify the capturing, the documenting, while, putting the time and effort and energy that I need to into making the, client work that I have as good as it possibly can be. So with that in mind, I think that, this whole idea of putting out more and more content, I've, reinvigorated the vlog. That's up. I'm hoping to, I think Instagram has been going really well. I've been posting a decent amount there. Facebook, I'm trying to integrate because honestly, I think that, understanding my audience is a little bit better. Instagram has a younger audience. Facebook, I think, has both. But in particular, I think that's really where my clients are. So trying to understand, okay, what Lasser Media content makes sense to put on Facebook, and then what Ricky Lasser content makes sense to put on Instagram. So there is kind of this, interesting identity crisis that I'm basically having. But in addition to, what I'm doing across the board, across all these social platforms, I think what would be a good idea, and I think what makes sense, and like I said yesterday, I'm terrified about this, but you know what? That's part of it. I think that's important to push yourself. I want to start doing a podcast. And I honestly, at this point, have no idea what that's going to entail. I have no idea what will go into it. And I know that there's kind of like a stigma about, oh, you must think that you're, pretty high and mighty to want to have a podcast, to have people listen to you. But honestly, I really think it's the opposite, because I think that, to post even these videos and everything like that, you're investing basically all the energy that you have in that moment towards what I'm saying. So hopefully I'm making this valuable for you. But then there's also the idea of, with podcasts, it's very passive. It's very passive, and that's why, like, I've been listening to podcasts like a ton, like, so many other people have, while I'm driving especially, and then occasionally when I'm just kind of like doing random things around the house, cooking, whatever. This whole concept, this whole idea of putting out more and more content is to gather attention, because the more often you see me, the more often you think about me, then the more often that ideally, my brand is heightened, and then, it helps to grow what Lasser Media is. And that's the goal. I mean, I think that, and I don't think that that's a selfish goal. I think that that's what everybody is trying to do in all of their businesses. But it's just a matter of accepting that, you need other people to help you. So what can you provide them? And I think that what I'm trying to figure out now is, all right, I believe that I want this podcast to be focused around Lasser Media. I don't necessarily want it to be focused on Ricky Lasser, because that's what this vlog is. But I can have a different angle, have different discussions on Lasser Media. If you have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear about it. Write in the comments below, tell me what you think, because, I have a couple ideas floating around of how I could structure this. That's the big news for today. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. I've got some editing to do today. The shoot went great. Things are going well. I've got, actually today, another lead. And again, the reason that I go back and tell you about these leads that I'm getting is because I think it's important to understand where these leads are coming from. So another lead that I had is from another videographer referral. That basically, this videographer, he's not able to make this shoot, so he's asking me, hey, can you film this? And then he's going to edit it. So, there's a lot of opportunities like that kind of within like this videographer network, this small videographer network that I have within the Baltimore area. I hope that, honestly, in my posting and being more relevant and showing up, socially as well as, in person, maybe that is what triggered him to call me, to think of me, to come to me with this opportunity. It's all trying to backtrack and reconstruct, and figure out, how did we kind of get here? But, it doesn't seem like this is hurting, honestly. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to keep this going. And yeah, a lot more good stuff to come. Thanks for watching.